Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your reading. Welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. I am Nicole. For those of you who don't know me, and for those of you returning, welcome back to the channel. Guys, it's been a hot minute since I've been able to get videos out. I started with Sag for mid-month, got totally derailed on scheduling. So we're just going to jump into it. Remember, the tarot is timeless at the end of the day. I'm not going to put a time frame on this. When you see it is when you're meant to find it. And I'm just going to kind of flow through the signs that way. I think from now on, for at least a little while, we'll see how it goes. And if I need to make any adjustments accordingly, then I will. Massive alignments happening, Gemini. And we'll dive into that as need be throughout this reading. Guys, you can also check me out at holisticallyzenwv.com. Our website is up and running. We are trying to pretty it up, make some changes. A lot of the merchandise and things that I utilize, crystals, gemstones from all over the world, and a variety of other things can be found on that website. If you guys are interested in a personal reading, that information can be found in the description box below, and as well as the About section of the page. Shoot me an email and I'll be happy to get back to you. Gemini, this will be for your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus. Cross watchers, if that is you. Both sides, please discern the messages and remember that roles can be reversed. Do not force something to fit. If you do that, it will not go well, okay? So don't make something that's not there. Gemini, what do I want to start with? I think I'm going to get some new decks. I think I'm due for some new decks. So Gemini, let's see what's going on for you guys right now. I did some meditating before I turned the camera on, so we'll see how that plays out. They talked about time. They talked about propositions, the decisions that you're making moving forward. You know, they all have consequences, whether they're good, bad, in between. And as we move into these alignments with the solar eclipse tomorrow, we're also looking at karma being played out. If you've done good deeds, you're going to get good deeds in return. If not, then it's going to be just the opposite. So be very mindful as we're starting new karmic cycles as well. Make sure that you're working on your highest good for not only yourself, but for those around you. So for Gemini, dynamic and communication. So yeah, let's see. This is a threefold situation and choice is what Spirit is giving me. The way that you're communicating is likely to change at this point. It's almost like you're being a little more cautious about who you're giving your energy to. Coherence. The frequency of coherence supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of the mind for an optimal ability to create the reality that we desire. To me, it's like, and I'm hearing from Spirit, a burst of energy, a burst of creativity, a burst of life. You may be very tired of doing the same thing, the same ways, and it's leading you to address your foundational energy so that you can make changes that are going to be more cohesive for the direction in which you are headed, that's going to bring, Spirit is saying, enlightenment to you. So let's see how that plays out for you guys. You know, sometimes I try to follow spreads, you know, most of the time it's kind of just like a, let's see what comes up and throw the cards down as we need to, and that's kind of the fashion that I'm going to take. What I say, they talked about time. What comes out? Time. Specialization. Whatever goals that you're reaching to achieve at this time, Gemini, excuse me, it's going to take time. So you may be going through a new way of doing things, a new way of life. Something has sparked something within your soul. Something has sparked something within your heart space. And we talked about that coherence, the brain and the heart getting on the same page, specialization being something that you are good at, right? How you alchemize all of the different parts of your life to create that one thing for you that really does fit into your world. Understand though, you're gonna have to, and Spirit is giving this to me, you're gonna have to recognize the need for patience as you move through this. Rome wasn't built in a day, right? So it's like, you may want to see these things come together right now and then manifest tomorrow and then reach your reward the next day. You're going to have to be very patient, because the creative process, no matter what it is for you specifically, and it's going to be different for all of you, is to understand that it's got to be nurtured, it's got to be given to, it's got to be cared for. And through that, I feel like too, that new ideas, 2 weeks in is what Spirit is giving me. So, you know, take it how it resonates for you. But 2 weeks in, you're going to start to see things shifting, starting to see things change. And that's going to take us, I believe, into the lunar eclipse at that point too. So this period of this eclipse season that we're going through, in mind the fact that we are also going into Mercury retrograde on Friday, the 21st, it's going to take some revision. It's going to take a little bit of time. Don't be so apt to just jump and go. You're going to have to probably sit in a space, I keep seeing the Two of Wands, a space of deciding which direction you need to take things. Don't make rash decisions. Key point, do not make rash decisions. We're going to go ahead and grab one of these mantra cards for you guys, and then we're going to get into your reading and see what comes up. So Spirit, for Gemini, please, what does Gemini need to know? What is their mantra? What is Gemini's mantra? Gemini. The more I embrace feeling good, the less often I will feel bad. Rewriting the subconscious. Stop. It's almost like you're doubting what it is that you've put out there. It's almost doubting what it is that you know you're capable of. So it's really Spirit's way of saying to you to take a look at the upside rather than the downside, seeing it as glass half full rather than glass half empty. Don't make things harder on yourself than they need to be. Again, timing is going to be everything moving forward for you guys. So embrace the changes as they come, acknowledge them, and be accepting of them as they are, okay? So let's grab you 3 cards from the Oracle deck and dive into your reading. I hope you guys are doing well and fantastic. I hope your spring is off to a beautiful start. For Gemini, what does Gemini need to know? I talked about that Two of Wands. You can't make it up, I swear to goodness. Indecision. There's a crossroads there, right? Deciding what direction you're going to go. Pay attention to anything that seems to be repeating. Again, as we go through Mercury retrograde, we can see the past resurface. This 8 on there is also a reminder we're closing cycles out, starting new ones. I just said, especially when it comes to our karma. If you know that you've walked a path in the past that did not serve you well, that brought a lot of heartache, discomfort, hard and heavy lessons is what Spirit is giving me. This is your opportunity to transform that energy moving forward so that you're not dealing again with the same patterns, the same routines, the same things. And I kind of feel like that's where you are. This desire to do something new, but it's almost like a temptation to go right back to what is comfortable. And we know when we sit in the stuff that is comfortable, there's no growth in that. So be very aware of what is going to, the path that's going to take you into a place where you're flourishing, you're seeing that growth, you're seeing that green. I just get this picture of like going down one path and it's like bare and deserted almost, like kind of like a ghost city. And then the other side is uplifting, bright, lavish, green, beautiful abundance. Don't walk down that harder path as you have in the past. That's very, very important to what they're showing me. Another card for Gemini, please, Spirit. What else does Gemini need to know at this time? The Garden and the Gate. Stop holding yourself back. You see her. She's got the key around her neck. It's hard to see for that gate, right? She's got the key around her neck there to release herself. She knows that out on the horizon is a beautiful, vast land. I just talked about that green, that plush, that lavish, beautiful stuff. But she's got to be willing to take that journey. And I feel like for some of you, you're holding yourself back at this time in reservation. And we'll clarify to see what that reservation might be for you. But you know, she's gained a lot of knowledge sitting where she is. She's cultivated who she is. She has nourished who she is. She's fully aware, but there's a fear attached to that reservation that's holding her back from taking those steps forward. I'm going to take both of these. Contract and community. Some of you may be in a space where you feel bound to something in the past, and then what do we have? I talked about that patience, or that time, and I mentioned patience. There it is again on the underlying. Walking away from the things in the past that were dark and heavy. Contract and community. I'm going to take both of these. With this contract, I feel like you're afraid to lead into something that you don't know what the outcome of this is going to be. Maybe fearful too that you don't have the support around you, but I'm going to tell you that you do. Whatever this new adventure is for you, and I don't really necessarily feel like this is love related, guys. Sorry if that was what you were looking for today. But I do feel like you're supported. You are loved and nourished and nurtured from the outside sources, but not in a romantic sense. This is the support that you need to, reach your wish fulfillment, to reach things that are abundant for you. This particular card reminds me very much of the Three of Cups energy. You are loved, you are supported, you're going to work together well with other people if you allow that to be the thing. But there's also something about this that, again, it's stripping away the way you've done things before, or seeing it as there is only one way of doing it. It's time to take in new knowledge, and I feel like that new knowledge has to do with a spiritual presence more than it has to do with the 3D world, if that makes sense for you guys. I hope it does. But okay, we're gonna use these. So just be very mindful of that, okay? All right, let's clarify. What is this indecision about? What is this crossroads about for Gemini? What is this indecision about? I'm talking about all roads lead home. Some of you may be traveling, planning to make a visit back. There you are, Gemini. The Lover's card. Tower, you may be dealing with a Scorpio energy. Maybe even Capricorn. I kind of see that as Capricorn too sometimes. Let's see. And again, you know, the Lovers, I just heard someone say it recently. I'm going to put these back in there. That, you know, the Lover's card, we see it, we think romanticism, that type of thing. With this indecision and the things that I was talking about prior, and then what I see in your meditation, this is about life choices. Significant life choices, karmic life choices that need to be addressed. Four of Pentacles in reverse, and you may be holding on, again, and I think I said this earlier, to some past pain, some past hurt, you know, and when it comes to love, the Hierophant. Again, I feel like I'm repeating myself. Hierophant, higher spiritual calling, right? It's a higher knowledge, it's a higher understanding. It is, you know, letting yourself open up to a new way of doing things. You may be seeking assistance. You could be reaching out to someone who has a higher knowledge of you. You may need to. Whatever this path or this crossroads is for each of you, and again, it's going to be different for all of you, it's really asking you to make a change. It's really asking you to do things differently. That 5 there with that 8, changing the cycle up for yourself so that you're not repeating those patterns, but also knowing that other people may have the knowledge and expertise that you don't have. So if you're not sure about something, if you're trying to invest into something, go into somebody who knows what they're doing and seek their advice. Seek what it is that they're able to give you. Take that knowledge and use it to your advantage in whatever decision that you're making at this time. You know, you have to reach out to other people and understand that it's almost like this idea of, I'll just do it myself, I'll go it alone. Somebody wants to help you. There's somebody or something that's coming in for you that's trying to guide you, to lead the way, to kind of knock down those barriers that are surrounding you, but you have to be willing to let that happen. You have to be making that conscious choice to make those changes, right? So don't fear that, is really what I want to say to you, because it will, 9 of Cups, it will lead to your wish fulfillment. You've got to extend that olive branch. That Page of Wands to me, the Page of Wands to me is always about extending that olive branch for the most part. But you also have to be willing to, you know, if you're sitting at home, and we'll use taxes. Yesterday was tax day for everybody, right? So, you know, if you don't know about taxes or whatever, just as an example, you didn't study QuickBooks, you didn't do whatever it was, you're going to have to reach out to somebody who's going to be able to help you with that information, right? They're going to be able to guide you through whatever this is. So, you know, you putting up your boundaries and going, I'll just do it myself, you're making things harder than they need to be. Going, I'll just do it on my own. Be willing to change it up. You've got a very carefree energy about you, very easy to communicate with, because you guys are pretty much open, right? So use that energy to your good and not just internalizing whatever this is that you're going through, because somebody is really there wanting to help push you forward onto a positive path, and they've got the tools. You know, they give you the tools, you do the work. You know, that's just the way it goes. Let them be of service to you so that you can reach some happiness and some fulfillment that's going to release you from this fear. Now, this Garden and Escape, again, fear attached to it. I feel like you're afraid to involve somebody else for some reason, and I'm not sure what that's about. The 6 of Pentacles, afraid. So for some of you, this might be divorce matters, okay? I don't know why I'm getting that, but that Hierophant back there, I could see that being the case. it's like this isn't going to be equal and fair. This is going to be a fight to the death kind of feeling. There's going to be too much conflict if I decide to take the path. You know, if somebody else gets pissed off because of the choices that you make, their emotional state is not your responsibility. Sorry, Karen, like, not my problem. You may not like the choices that I'm making, but these choices are the choices that I have to live with. And I talked about when I meditated, that I talked about the timing and the consequences of whatever it is that you're stepping into. If you're choosing to stay on a path that is not for your highest good, you will not reap good rewards at the end, because you're going to have to learn the lesson. The universe is going to come in and bitch slap you every time and go, did you learn the lesson from last time? Because if not, each lesson is going to become harder because you're not getting the hint. You're not getting, you know, those, you know, talk about the olive branch. It's like the universe is extending that olive branch to you going, did you learn the lesson? And when you're denying the universe the right to teach you that lesson, you are going to repeat lessons. How many times do you want to get your butt handed to you? And there's that Two of Wands. I talked about that Two of Wands energy. It's there underneath again. That indecision, not sure what path to go. Some of you, and I don't know, this is, I was going to say this, some of you may feel threatened, and what comes out? The devil. Like, you may be dealing with the devil kind of energy, or you just may be in a space where you're obsessing, overthinking, reacting from a very unhealthy place. If you're in that kind of energy, you've got to ask yourself why, where this comes from. You know, what is it that you need to do differently? And again, that Eight of Pentacles comes out, researching the need to gain knowledge. Spirit is also saying, paying attention to your opposition. So whatever that means for you, again, you guys are going to know better than I do. It's your life, and this is a collective reading. So parts may resonate, parts may not. You guys are going to know. But I also feel like you feel stuck by having to learn. Like, there's a fear attached to this learning. And there may also be a fear for some of you that if you step into this new world, what lays out there and wait for you? Are you going to get chewed up and spit out again, is kind of how this feels to me. Follow your path. Follow your heart's guidance. Follow what is drawing you. If you know, you go to bed at night and you're like, I want to build that $1 million company, but mom and dad don't think that is worth a shit. Like, they don't agree with what it is that I want to do. Unless you're living at home and mom and dad are paying your bills, you're the one who has to make those decisions. You're the one who has to make that call. You're the one that has to live with the consequences of your choices. And I just feel there's a massive need to reiterate that. You need to think about what it is that is best for you and quit worrying about everybody else's feelings. You cannot save everybody else's feelings at the end of the day. They're going to make their own choices. They're going to feel the way they feel based upon their perception alone. You have no control of that. The only person you have control over is yourself, and then the universal lessons that Spirit, universe, God, whatever you put your faith into, is showing you, is bringing to you. It's about releasing the toxic ways of doing things. And with the energies, we've got the hybrid solar eclipse happening tomorrow. We've got Aries season is moving into Taurus season. We've got a blue new moon happening. We had the moon last month, the new moon, it was in Aries. Here we are again visiting Aries. We've got Mercury retrograde starting tomorrow. This is really a time to be aware of the decisions that you're making, revise, rearrange, replan, readdress your soul's growth, because those karmic cycles are going to start anew for all of us. We're in Aries season, right? It is the restart to the calendar year as well in the zodiac. So pay very close attention as to what's coming up. Do you want to start a whole new cycle based upon the way the past was done? Because if you do, you're going to repeat those lessons again moving forward. Don't feel stuck in the sense that you have to learn. And it may feel like a lot of weight, a lot of things that you're going to have to examine in your life. Study, research, build. But in the end, you have to put the work in to see the reward. And that goes back to the choices. It goes back to the consequences of our actions that came up, in the meditation. So be aware. Be very aware of that. New opportunity lies ahead through this work. Whatever it is that you're working through, new opportunity is there to be had. Pay attention to it. It's calling you. It is calling you, and for good reason. Spirit says they're just tired of watching you do it over and over again. So, Spirit's coming in going, get your shit together. We're tired of watching the reruns of the soap opera. So, you know, close the soap opera out. It doesn't need to run 50 years and they're all the same age tomorrow, right? Like, let's do that. In the 3D world, in our real world, you know, the soap operas, I don't even know why this is coming up, but probably for good reason for somebody. You know, you look at the cover of the magazines and, you know, what was it, The Young and the Restless, you know, they're still, you know, 35 years old and they've done the same thing for our entire lifespan and nothing's ever changed. But in our real world, that soap opera continues on. But the problem with that is we are getting older. Our lives are changing. We're being pushed into new situations, new people, new places. Time, you know, if you're wasting your time, time is no longer on your side. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you're not in the same place that they are. You've got to make those moves. So just be aware of that. As Spirit is tired of watching the reruns here, okay? Very, very interesting and enlightening. Thank you, Spirit. All right, this community and this contract, what is this about? It's a time of healing. That Four of Swords. It is a time of healing. The Ace of Cups. I'm telling you guys, you are totally and fully supported by people around you. And you know, there might be one naysayer. I'll say this. There may be one naysayer in your life that's where, whether it's mom, dad, a spouse, who knows, whoever, right? That I feel like has been that one person that their words, whether they said to you, you can't make it, you can't do it, you're not capable, whatever BS that they fed you, and you took it on as your own, that became your perception of yourself. This is what you're healing right now. You're healing the heartbreak of the past. You're not closing the world in reverse. You're not closing out old wounds that created emotional turmoil for you. They created emotional instability, not knowing who you are and what you're worth, you know, and now you do this Emperor energy coming through. Someone wants to show you what you're valuable or where your value lies within you. And this support system that's around you, you know, again, one person may say you can't do it, but 3 other people are going, hell yeah, you can, get moving. But you're allowing the pain to stifle your growth. You're allowing the hurt, the betrayal of the past to stifle the growth. And if it's almost like too with somebody out there, and it could be for a few of you, if not all of you, I don't know. That one person that's that naysayer is like, that's where you're seeking acceptance. Why? If you're seeking external validation and that person knocks you down 10 feet every time you make a move, you've got to ask yourself why they are in that state. Why are they feeling that way, that they feel the need to be that way with you? Because it's not about you, it's about them. Be very, very cognizant of that. Growth is at hand, but you have to make the determining decision at the end of the day. You've got the support and guidance to make these moves. So be very mindful of that, okay? All right, let's grab you a card or two of advice here, and we're going to wrap this up, Gemini. I hope you guys are doing well. You have this. Like, you are healing this heartbreak, but I feel like there's just that one person. That one situation, that one person, that one set of words that just cut like a knife. But you're working on healing this, and through these new experiences, you're going to find people who are going to be supportive of that for you. I have picked up my cards all upside down today. Waking the lion. You are more strong. You are more courageous. You are more than you give yourself credit for, is what I want to say. Like, deep within you, there's a passion that lives to create a beautiful life. And yet, there's a fear attached to that. Don't fear success. Fear what you miss. I don't even say fear anything, but don't leave yourself in a position to miss out on the things that are meant for you, because fear lives from within, from before. Okay? Very important. For Gemini, please. What's the advice for Gemini? Oh my goodness. Oh, everything. Just do everything, okay? Just do it all. I'm going to look at these, and I'm going to put these back in. They're saying to let yourself open up and expand into new heights. You know, again, this is a time for you to open yourself up, crack yourself wide open and move forward. One card, please, Spirit. Healing the heart. There you go. There's that Three of Swords I talked about. This is a healing energy. That Four of Swords right there. Allow yourself to feel. Allow your emotions to change. I almost feel like, too, for some of you with that card, that it's like if I heal this hurt and I let go of the attachment to that hurt and I release this person or situation from my space, you almost feel like you're betraying something or someone as a result of this. You're not. You realize that everybody comes into our lives for a reason, a season, however you want to word it, whatever little phrase, catchphrase you want to cover it with. We move at different rates of speed. We move in different areas. You know, we go back, and I said this the other day for somebody, you know, look at where you are. You can sit low on a vibrational scale, and all of a sudden, you know, you and your friend that have been friends for years separate and go off in different directions, right? Come back together maybe 10 years later. You realize they're still sitting in the same place, and you've moved up some, right? And you recognize that the growth is not the same. So you had time and space to give you a different perspective. When you deal with somebody every single day, it's living in it, right? We don't see from the outside looking in, we're in it, so it's harder to understand it. That it's like watching our children grow. I'm going to throw this example out there too. We don't realize how much our children grow and how fast they grow until we go back to the doctor, and the last time we were there, they were 2 feet tall, now they're 2.5 feet tall, and we're like, whoa, like I knew you got bigger, but geez, you know, that kind of thing. It's really hard to see what's happening right in front of your face with a person. And I feel like you feel as if you separate yourself from this. That it's a dishonest or disloyal position. You will feel guilty from that. Don't feel guilty. You're not on the same playing field as you once were. If your soul is calling you to elevate and this person is choosing to stay here, and you need to go up here, go. Don't let anything or anybody hold you back to the past. Don't let it anchor you down. If that's where they choose to stay, it's gratitude, appreciation for the lessons and the time that you had with them, and now it's time to move on. Us in this world, we get very caught up on the attachment of not being able to see certain people not being a part of our world. It's not about the longevity of how long they're there. It's about the impact that they leave on you in the time that they are there. Pay attention. And for some of you, you may have lost somebody. I don't know why that's coming up all of a sudden. You may have lost somebody, and that's still leaving an impact. Understand that they're always with you, too. Okay? So if that's your story, heartfelt condolences to you. Okay? So, guys... It's time to move forward. No more indecision. You know what you need for you. Exploring unity consciousness. I'm going to read this to you. One last card. I am one eternal light appearing as all. Discern that for each of you as you need to. Whatever comes to you, don't second guess it. Don't doubt it. Don't overanalyze it. When I say that to you, what's the first thing that comes up? I am one eternal light appearing as all. Because for each of you specifically, that will be your own message. Okay? Gemini, if you found this video resonated for you, please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Your likes, shares, comments, subscribes. For those of you that have booked personal readings with me, I greatly appreciate it. I look forward to seeing and hearing more from each and every single one of you. I'm wishing you a wonderful day. Enjoy your week and stay grounded through these astrological changes that we are experiencing. Sending you guys light and love. Take care. Bye-bye.